With reference to the management of the solid waste, consider the following statements. The correct option is option C. All of them are correct. Composting is the process of degrading decomposable solid waste in a properly during duct pit. Land filling is the process of dumping waste or other substances in low land areas and covering the same with soil. In incineration, the dried solid waste is safely burned in closed compartments with proper provisions of treatment of harmful gases. Consider the following statements about the acid rain. The correct option is option A, one only. It is caused by reaction of oxides and sulfur and nitrogen with water. It is correct. It is one of the reasons placed on Rajmahal is acid rain in the region. It is false. It occurs only in tropical regions. It is also false. It is true. Taj Mahal. Consider the following statement with respect to procedure for divorce under the Hindu Marriage Act 1955. The correct option is option C, 2 and 3. It is mandatory to give 6 months time to the parties time to withdraw their plea. At a petition for divorce by mutual consent can be filed only a year after the marriage. It is true. Lays down the law for divorce which applies. It is false. Business Ready Be Ready project, which is recently seen in news, is an initiative of World Bank. Consider the following statements with respect to Kambhala. The correct option is option A, one only. It is a traditional buffalo race in a paddy field filled with slush and mud. It takes place in the monsoon. It is false. Consider the following statements regarding nitrogen pollution. The correct option is option C. It is its contamination causes blue baby syndrome. Excessive use of nitrogen fertilizer contributes toward nitrogen pollution. Runoff of nitrogen from fields to water body causes eutrophication. Which of the following best describes the term bioremediation? The correct option is option B. It is the application of biotic agents like microorganisms in the correction and recovery of environmental damage. Correct option is option B. Environment Protection Act 1986. Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 and E-Waste Management Rule 2016 were notified under which of the following acts? In the context of global efforts for recently Article 299 of the Indian Constitution was seen in the news. It is related to the correct option is option A. Contracts made in the exercise of the executive power of the Union of a state. In the context of global efforts for the protection of the environment, which of the following happened earliest? The correct option is option C. United Nations Conference on Human Environment. Consider the following statements. The correct option is option C, both 1 and 2. Anaerobic decomposition occurs in the absence of oxygen and lots of energy is produced in this process. Anaerobic decomposition kills seeds of weeds and germs present in the waste. It is true. Consider the following statement with respect to the National Automated Fingerprint Identification System, NAFIS. The correct option is option B, only 2. The correct option 2 and 1. It is web-based application that serves as a central depository of criminal fingerprints. It assigns a unique 10-digit national fingerprint number to each person arrested for a crime. It is managed by the Crime and Criminal Tracking Network. It is false. The species Dodo duaga, thylacine, and stellar sea cows are the correct option is option D, extinct species. Arrange the following biodiversity conservation efforts in India in chronological order from earliest to latest. The correct option is option C, 3142. Project Hangul, Project Elephant, Asiatic Lion Reintroduction Project, and Project Snow Leopard. Which of the following harmful materials is are found in e-waste? The correct option is option C, 1, 2, 3. Lead, cadmium, and chromium. Consider the following statements with respect to the eutrophication of lakes. The correct option is option B, 2 only. The prime contaminants for eutrophication are nitrates and phosphates. It is man-made process and does not occur naturally. It is false. Consider the following statements. The correct option is option B, only 2. As compared to wildlife sanctuaries, national parks are given a greater degree of protection with human activity greatly restricted. Wildlife sanctuaries do not have fixed boundaries, whereas the boundaries of national parks are well marked. It is true. Unlike wildlife sanctuaries, national parks can be notified only by the central government. It is false. Consider the following statements. The correct option is option A. Both statements are correct and one two explains the one. Termites are counted among natural sources of methane like wetland, wild animals, livestock, and geological features like volcanoes. Mythogenic microorganisms that live in gut of termite break down the cellulose entering the body and release methane. Consider the following statement regarding the ionizing radiation. The correct option is option A. Only one are not correct. Okay, three is not correct. One is not correct. No, three is correct. Statement two is correct. One is not correct. They include long wavelength ultraviolet radiations, UV, X-rays, and gamma rays. It is false. Electrically charged particles produced in nuclear process can knock electrons out of atoms or molecules producing ions. It is true. Gamma rays passing through a cell can ionize water molecules near the DNA, potentially causing DNA to break and damage living tissues. With reference to ecological succession, consider the following statements. The correct option is option B, 2 only. Primary succession takes place in areas that are newly exposed and essentially lifeless. Ecological succession is defined as the process in which one generation of a species replaces another without allowing other species to grow. It is false. Consider the following statements regarding the first loss default guarantee, which is recently seen in the news. The correct option is option D, 1, 2, and 3. It is the contractual arrangement between banks, non banking financial companies, and lending services providers whereby the LSP guarantees to compensate the banks. Losses only to a certain threshold are covered under this arrangement. The LSP providing default loss guarantee must be incorporated as a company under the Companies Act 2013. Consider the following statements. The correct option is quantum physics is the study of matter and energy at the most fundamental level, and it aims to uncover the properties and behavior of the very building blocks of nature. Quantum effects only manifest at very small length and massive scales are when temperature approach the absolute zero. Both are correct. Consider the following statements. Most herbicides are toxic to mammals. Statement 1 is correct. Herbicides become concentrated in the food web. Statement 2 is correct and it is the correct statement of explanation of statement 1. Which of the following are the possible impacts of ozone layer depletion? The correct option is option D, 1, 2, 3, 4. Delay in plant formation and timing of development, increase in tropospheric zone, relative cooling of the troposphere, and increased incidence of contracts in humans. A zone of gradual but continuous change from one ecosystem to another when there is no sharp boundary between the two in terms of species composition is best described as an ecocline. Which of the following criteria is used to identify biodiversity hotspots? The correct option is option C 134. Species richness, high endemism, and threat perception. Presence of invasive species is false. Consider the following statements about the ozone. The correct option is option A 1. It can only be. The first one is wrong. It can only be formed naturally in the atmosphere. The second one is correct. In the stratosphere, it forms a shield protecting us from the UV radiation of the sun. And the third one is wrong. Ozone is not found in the troposphere. The Global Greenhouse Gas Watch, which is recently seen in the news, is an initiative of World Meteorological Organization. Consider the following statements. The correct option is option C. Statement 1 is correct but 2 is false. Very small animals are rarely found in the polar regions. Smaller animals have a smaller surface relative to their volume. It is false. The term forum shopping, recently seen in the news, is related to practice of choosing the quote which is likely to provide the most favorable outcome. Consider the following statements. The correct option is option C, both 1 and 2. Species evenness describes the distribution of abundance across the species in community. Species richness is the number of species within a defined region. Both are true. Consider the following pairs. The correct option is option B. Only two pairs are correct. 2, 2 and 3. Ranthambore National Tiger Park, Rajasthan. Kanha National Park, Madhya Pradesh. Simlipal, it is false. Kaziranga, it is in Assam. Consider the following processes. The correct option is option D. Which of the above given processes are responsible for water pollution? Agriculture runoff, open defecation, discharge of industrial effluent, floats, discharge of coolant from nuclear reactors. Which of the following statement best describes the term biotic potential? The correct option is option A. It is the maximum rate at which a population can increase when resources are unlimited and environmental conditions are ideal. Consider the following statements. The correct option is option A 1 only. Biological oxygen demand is an indicator of eutrophication in water bodies. A rise in BOD means there is presence of higher inorganic pollution in the water body. This is false. With reference